The fabric of America is built on second chances for many people. The country was built by people emigrating to the United States with the hope of building a new life. Second chances are a part of American culture. The story of Ron LeFlore, an inmate in Jackson Prison in Michigan, is one of the most compelling you will find in American life. Ron LeFlore went from prison to a tryout to being signed by the Detroit Tigers in the early 1970s. Signed by then Tiger manager Billy Martin, Ron LeFlore made his major league debut with the Tigers on August 1st, 1974. Ron LeFlore tells us how his story started and where this amazing second chance at life took him.
Well, really, my story started off with me writing a letter to the Detroit Tigers, and the response back from Jim Campbell and their organization said that all their players had been previously scouted, and they didn't have the manpower to send someone up. So the public relations director at the institution I was in wrote a letter to the Tigers, and they agreed to come up. So Billy came up himself, which I thought was phenomenal. I got a chance to talk to him. The fields were really muddied and rained out, so he was going to try me out. But he did tell me that he would grant me a tryout if I got a furlough from the Department of Corrections. And so I got the furlough. I went to the ballpark, and it was one of those things where you thought it would never happen for you, because my father was driving me from Jackson Prison to Tiger Stadium, and about 40 miles out, the car threw a rod. So the motor broke down. We out on the highway, hitchhiking. So we eventually get a ride. We go to the ballpark, and I go in. Billy canceled the batting practice for the team, and I hit for the whole batting practice. I hit for an hour. When I first reached the major leagues, Ralph Hawk was the manager. Billy Martin signed me, and they told me when I got there, Ralph came up to me and said, "Ronnie, said, you're going to be my center fielder regardless of what you do. You're going to have to learn to play up here," because I only had like 130 games of professional baseball experience. And I really worked my butt off really hard. Jim Leland was my first manager in Clinton, Iowa, and Leland would really devote a lot of time with me. He would take me out at 8 o'clock in the morning, throw batting practice to me, hit ground balls to me, fly balls to me. So my developing started to come around really well. Because of being a phenomenal athlete as a kid, I was a football and basketball player. My instincts was really good. So starting to learn to pick up the game of baseball was really a big factor for me. But you know, I didn't think I would pick it up that fast because I hadn't had the previous experience learning how to judge balls. And then they used to use a bazooka at one time to shoot the balls in the air, and you couldn't really see them because there's high skies usually. I had a couple of balls hit me on the shoulder, on the foot, you know, because I was misjudging them. But that helped me tremendously. And then Leland kept hitting balls to me. I went to the instructional league for a few years and worked out every day there. My game started improving. 75 was my first full season. I hit 292 the first half. I thought it was going to be easy. The next half, I think I hit like 156. The next year, 76, I went on a 30-game hitting streak, which is the longest, I guess, the beginning of the season in history of baseball, and I made the All-Star team. I was the second highest vote getter to Rod Carew that year. It was really an amazing feat for me because not having the Little League and, you know, high school baseball experience and playing in the minor leagues a long time, but I was concentrating enough to know that I wasn't going to let anything distract me from getting to my primary goal, and that was the pinnacle of baseball, and that was to the major leagues. And then I had told all the inmates before I left prison, you guys are going to see me on TV the next year, and I didn't want to let those guys down.
Ron LeFlore debuted with the Detroit Tigers on August 1st, 1974. LeFlore played for the Tigers, Expos, and White Sox from 1974 through 1982. He retired with 455 stolen bases, while hitting .288, on-base percentage of .342, and a slugging percentage of .392. He was an All-Star in 1976 and set at the time a record by going 134 games in a row without going 2 straight games without a hit. Ron LeFlore's story is America and the opportunity our country gives those looking for a second chance. He didn't miss his pitch. U.S. History Through the Eyes of Baseball, brought to you by AmericanInnings.org.